Very good, excellent. Welcome, Cepheid. Welcome to all our distinguished guests here. It is a very, very proud moment for Cepheid India and certainly global operation to be inaugurating this site today on March 14th, 2023. My name is Laurent Bellon. I'm the head of global operations for Cepheid, overseeing a very complex network of all our global factories in Europe, in the US. And what is remarkable today is that this is our very first outside of Europe, outside of US, full in vitro diagnostic factory, enabling essentially the India market. So very, very proud moment here. So let me detail a little bit with you, right, our journey in India, and certainly we've come a long way, and really worked consistently in lockstep with both the central and state government in order to be progressing the national tuberculosis elimination program. And this is what I want to detail a little bit with all of you today, and starting with our mission. And for the last 10 years, our mission has been absolutely unwavering to be delivering a better way, to be providing access to molecular diagnostic testing everywhere. And today, I don't think that this mission has resonated ever louder in terms of being able to be providing that
Recording stopped.
in the country, for the country, once again, to be helping India's government.
Recording in progress.
Program. Our vision is also very similar, and it's really to be the leading provider of seamlessly connected diagnostic solution, really thinking about the world of opportunities, linking our molecular diagnostic testing solutions with electronic patient management systems right through our connected devices. Certainly a noble aspiration. So what does a PCR plus solution looks like? Well, I will surmise that it really looks like our GeneXpert family of systems, a modular, scalable, highly customizable to be answering all the diverse need of the lab workflows, fueled with that modular architecture and empowered by essentially that one common architecture, which is the cartridge that has been declined to over 30 different in vitro diagnostic tests in the area of acute infectious disease. Certainly TB would be a good example there, respiratory diseases, sexual health, virology, oncology, and many other applications. It is really about combining accuracy, speed, ease of use, flexibility, and certainly quality of the workflow, which I'm going to be essentially detailing for you today. The PCR Plus advantage can be really summarized in all of these key attributes here. Accurate result. This is the land of specificity. This is the land of accuracy, of limit of detection, of sensitivities, really enabling that particular trusted, reliable result that the entire workflow enables. Speed and efficiency. We know that time to diagnostic matters. Driving consistently the reduction of time to diagnostic through that integrated molecular device is a very key attribute that is really helping getting to the diagnosis faster. Flexible delivery system. We actually talked about the multiple configuration of our GeneXpert platform and how it can be tailored to essentially very different needs of the laboratory workflow, which is actually also very important when we think about the overall quality of the testing. And certainly when we think about quality, it is actually not only the quality of the design that is going into all of these particular assays, but also the quality of the sample prep, the quality of the user protocol, everything going into that particular right the first time, reliable, trusted result in our customer's hand. Last but not the least, it is about that particular ease of use, that particular workflow. And that is where the PCR Plus advantage really shine in terms of state-of-the-art, best-in-class methodology to be handling from biospecimen to PCR results in a very smooth workflow. And certainly that ease of use in terms of sample preparation is one of the very important elements of the quality that we are baking in within that product. Very easy to be introducing the sample within the cartridge, and then it's actually walk-away automation, ensuring that the valuable lab analyst can essentially do some other part of the workflow. So let me tell you a little bit about our global presence at Cepheid, right? We operate in over 180 different countries, and certainly we have an install base of over 50,000 systems on a global basis. Certainly, since inception, TB, tuberculosis, has been one of the flagship products that we have developed in conjunction with the high-burden developed countries and the WHO. And since inception, over 100 million TB tests have been conducted on our Cepheid platform as part of the cartridge-based nucleic acid amplification test. Putting that in dimension, this is actually about a third of the US population that has been tested right on our platform. Certainly today is a great event, right? Celebrating the rise of our Make in India manufacturing site. And I'll further talk about that in terms of how important that capability of producing locally this particular TB test is important, not only for India, but also for the rest of the HBDC. We serve all 30 countries, high burden TB countries as defined by the WHO, and certainly providing that level of mission. When you click down into the India presence here, we've been actually present within India since 2012, and the very beginning of the revised national TB control program that has now evolved to the national TB elimination program. And certainly we've been in lockstep with the central agencies to be really fueling and providing essentially that molecular diagnostic here. Manufacturing site in Bangalore, where we stand today, is actually the crown jewel of global operation capabilities, one of the very few, if not the only one, multinational presence in India on in vitro diagnostics. And this is actually something that we are very proud of and are fully intending to further capitalize on that, driving the adoption of our product in order to be providing that value test within the marketplace. We operate in about 77,000 square foot in this particular site. And our global presence in India is about 400 associates, growing pretty rapidly at the same time as we're fully expanding the site here. One thing that I'm personally very proud of within the Bangalore site is our focus on diversity. We understand that diversity is actually part of our core values, and certainly we value, cherish, and embrace diversity. And I'm very pleased to report that within the population base that we are within Bangalore, we essentially have an astonishing 48% of gender diversity, which is a very important element there. So all of this particular story really started in 2010 when the World Health Organization endorsed TB Cepheid molecular testing. And that was actually the beginning of a new era in terms of modern, rapid nucleic acid-based detection for TB diagnosis. A leap change over essentially prior method in terms of culture, in terms of their sample to results. And ever since that WHO endorsement here, rest assured that Cepheid has not rested on its laurel. We've continuously innovated around that same cartridge form factor, really bringing essentially additional level of performance with the rise of the MTB Ultra, with unmet clinical performance, and certainly additional reduction of time to result or sample to diagnosis. And more recently, with the XDR platform, we've really essentially tackled the multi-drug resistance element of TB, providing essentially a very good diagnosis tool for all secondary drug resistance on TB. So certainly that innovation continues to be at the very core of Cepheid in terms of product innovation. So throughout all of these last 10 years, Cepheid has been in lockstep with the government initiatives in terms of ending TB. And this started obviously in 2012 after the WHO endorsement, when the central government here really conducted that feasibility study on our CBNAT technology and rapidly essentially deployed a particular pilot program back in 2012 after the WHO. Over the last 10 years, and you can actually see that on the timeline, it's been a succession of continuous investment in scaling the adoption of our molecular platform, the CBNAT, within essentially the different regions of India, providing essentially that particular testing capacity and therefore fueling the objectives of the National TB Elimination Program. More recently, the government is also investing into our next generation of analyzers, our 10 colors, in order to also explore the XDR, that multi-drug resistance, and how it fits within the overall program. Certainly, our success with the public environment has been absolutely phenomenal, and we certainly pride ourselves to have been in locksteps and in strong support of the national program. But we also have made essentially a lot of forays within the private sector, another important actor in how we deliver health care within India. When we look at this particular chart here, I am very, very pleased to report that the great state of Karnataka is actually in the top 5 of the states that have actually been enabled on our GeneXpert platform. And this is actually an absolute credit, right, to the resolve and the able leadership of the Ministry of Health, right, continuously investing and deploying that CBNAT testing, right, toward the objective of the TB elimination program. So we certainly are here to absolutely support all of this endeavor. When we think about the overall impact, right, of our CBNAT testing, they are absolutely remarkable. And certainly one of the important elements here as part of the entire TB national report, we have enabled and certainly contributing to diagnosing over 43% of the total TB patients within India. And certainly when we think about the particular last 2 years with the COVID-19 pandemic, we've obviously seen a bit of a pause within the TB testing program. But I'm very, very pleased to report that we are poised in 2022 to actually make great progress and renewing to a tremendous amount of diagnostic tests being done on TB within 2022, with over 3.5 million estimated TB tests having been conducted in last year. So certainly when we think about our presence, it is a very great example of engineering the particular presence in India, and these things do not happen by chance. We've declared our ambition for our Make in India plan back in 2018, certainly going through that vision of getting close to our customers, of ensuring that we are providing a local, resilient, and enduring supply security for India, really enabling the India self-reliancy on TB molecular testing. And that's what we've actually accomplished, right? So we made a big public promise. We are now extremely proud to be reporting that we have now delivered on this particular promise here, enabling that made in India and that localization of the supply. And the way we are doing it is really integrating a tremendous amount of the value chain back in this very, very plant. This Make in India is obviously leading to tremendous amount of opportunities for all our associates in Bangalore, and certainly continuing to be growing that particular presence over time, and certainly fueling a lot of our associate development, which is an important factor. Well, I will end up that address here is taking you a little bit throughout that particular multi-pronged journey since our declaration of the intent back in 2018. And we've been very resolute while we were essentially building all this particular infrastructure, a greenfield building really coming from a piece of land, partnering with some other contract manufacturers in Chennai in order to start really progressing our Make in India capabilities, leading up right to the capability that we are now seeing in this site, where we are truly now making fully integrated in vitro diagnostics. So phenomenal roadmap here. It is a very, very proud moment for all the associates in Bangalore and certainly throughout the world that have been contributed to that effort here. Thank you for your attention.